It's deep. Hello. Welcome to Actors Anonymous podcast. I'm your host, Wissam Quiche. Co-hosting with me as always, I almost forgot. Co-hosting with me is Mr. Jordan Burbank.
Hello.
Jordan, thanks for always being here.
I try my best.
I can't get rid of you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm everywhere. Our one of our guests today is Mr. Luca Oriel. Luca, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You might know Luca from Shameless. He is Debbie's boyfriend on the show, and we hope to see you again this coming season.
Thank you.
Our theme today is how things are never exactly our expectations when we get them. The mind is such a powerful thing. I'm already flubbing up. The mind is such a powerful thing. It is the vessel in which we are able to control our body. Think about that for a second, how amazing that really is. Not only can we consciously control things, but through its physiological evolution, we can unconsciously perform crucial tasks like the beating of a heart, breathing, and numerous digestive processes. The mind is also so developed that we can create worlds in our head that have layers of complexity to them. Some of these worlds are manifested through writing, painting, filmmaking, and other platforms. Its greatest ability is the way it can reveal ultimate truth. The concept of a universal truth, way, lifestyle that exceeds our physical realm, touches the metaphysical, and brushes on the spiritual. With all these amazing functions, there's a double-edged sword with an extremely negative impact. The mind can lie to us. Through patterns of our daily thought and actions, we can mold the mind into a blunt and destructive instrument that creates a negative perception on life and in turn obstructs a view of the truth. It muddies it, it buries it, it burns it, it destroys it, till all we can see is a wasteland that goes on infinitely, our own living and breathing hell. These are the two most extremes we can identify with mentally, an ultimate truth and a living hell. There are, however, many shades of gray in between. Small things in life like, I can't wait till I book that guest spot. It's going to change my life. It's going to make me happier. And we begin to create this layered world in our heads, a world with no problems anymore because I've booked that guest spot. Obstacles have been removed and it's going to be smooth sailing. Then all of a sudden, we book that role. We get what we want. There's a burst of excitement, and the best way I can describe it, it's like one of those little handheld party poppers. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Realization sets in. The pop was small. It's pieces of plastic and paper. There was a little smell of smoke, and that's it. The world keeps turning. Same thing when you book that guest spot. There's a great burst of joy, excitement, energy that could last a day or two. It could even last when you're filming on set. But then when you're done, realization hits it. And you become aware that this isn't going to last forever. You basically lied to yourself about all your problems being erased without you even knowing. You thought this was going to fix everything. Why? Why did we think that? Why did we create this world in our heads and expected it to manifest in real life? Was it because of entitlement, ignorance, or did we just romanticize the moment? I know I do that sometimes too. Whatever the reason why, we must find a solution. Our expectations of things must be realistic and calculated. We must define the realistic parameters of an obstacle, goal, or even a person, and keep those possibilities in the air, but give them no weight until they manifest in front of us. This will help keep our emotions in check, and more importantly, keep us focused on the road ahead. Do not be distracted by obstacles or problems, and especially do not be distracted when you get what you want, no matter what happens. Luca, it's an amazing thing when you book your first recurring guest spot on Shameless, correct?
Correct.
Explain to me that moment a little bit.
Well, before I got the job, I was a fan of the show from the beginning.
Mhm.
So I've been watching it since the first season. I was just a fan. And everything just happened so fast. Like, out of nowhere, my manager called me and said I got the audition.
Right.
And I was already freaking out. I was just happy that I had the opportunity just to audition. And then I went to the audition, and they said that the next day I had the call back. So I started freaking out again, and then I ended up getting the job. And it was really a dream come true. Like, I couldn't believe it because, like, you know, a lot of people want to work on their favorite shows.
Absolutely. It's a
And,
huge
you know,
thing.
And was getting that opportunity to do that. So it was a really just big thing for me, and I was really excited.
Absolutely. Whenever you were working, was there any time of like a realization where it's like, oh, this is a job now? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm excited I booked the role, but now I have to. This is a job. You know, there are people counting on me.
Yeah, definitely. Like, at first it was all fun, and then, you know, when we started doing like the wardrobe fittings and the table readings, and then
Yes.
you know, working on, you know, Warner Brothers, it was like, wow, this is a big deal.
Right.
And it's kind of like, okay.
So it simmered you down a little bit from there.
But you know, I was still excited throughout the whole process.
Absolutely.
So what was that process like for you, like, to experience? Like, was it all like? I'm trying to think of how to say that. Like, when you went in for that audition and like the experience of like, holy crap, this is like a big show. Like, what was the process for that? Like, did they give you? Was it a fairly simple, like, interview? Like, when you went in for the audition, or like, what was like the process for that?
Yeah, we just I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 scenes. And then for the audition, I just did it with the casting director. But for the callback, they actually brought Emma Kenny in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the callback. So I got to do it with her.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
was surprised when she was there.
Oh.
She walked into
It's like,
the
I have
office.
to up my game.
Yeah.
It's nice having that actor though to work off with.
It definitely helps better.
Now, whenever, and I'm trying to delve a little deeper here, was there a moment in your mind that was like, okay, this is game time? Because you're a martial artist, right?
Right.
And so, have you fought, like, sparred professionally or even, like, in class at all?
Yeah, I mean, like, amateurly too.
Right.
I have a world title in junior kickboxing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So first off, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Second off, so you know what it's like whenever you're in that ring and, you know, it's like fight or begin.
Mhm.
So it's like that something switches in your head.
Yeah.
Was there a moment like that whenever you're acting in a scene or during that audition process?
Yeah, like, I prepare at home,
Mhm.
and then in the car ride there, I kind of listen to music and, you know, calm myself. And then as soon as I step on the lot or even step in the waiting room, I'm already prepared. I'm preparing
That's
there.
great.
Because some people, you know, they like to talk to other people, or they're on their phones.
Right.
You know, I like to prepare in the waiting room when I'm sitting down. So when I already go into the room, I'm already prepared.
Absolutely.
And like sometimes with scenes, they start in the middle of the scene and not the beginning, you know, of the scene.
Mhm.
So what I like to do is like already walk in like in the beginning of that scene, so it's more natural.
See, that's
Wow.
that's acting 101 right there. You know, it's like the moment before
Yeah, the moment before.
the scene starts. It's a technique to bring you into the scene because you should already be in the moment before they even say action or begin.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to fighting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You got to be preparing yourself for
Yeah.
the fight before they say okay, fight. You know,
Yeah.
that's awesome. You're from LA originally, right?
Yes.
What part of town?
Northridge.
Oh, cool.
Port Ranch, yeah, in the valley.
It's great. How has martial arts and acting compared and contrast for you? Like similarities and differences?
I haven't seen any really differences, but similarities is like I know the martial arts has helped me with discipline and focus, and you know when I have to study for an audition and if I have to read the script as well, if I only have a day to prepare, martial arts has really helped me with discipline and focus to, you know, there's a time for work and there's a time for play.
Great, yeah. And you being a young actor and a young professional, it's so important for anybody out there listening. Time management is
Yeah.
crucial
Yeah.
because you were telling me a little bit about your workout schedule, and I'm absolutely impressed. You do like 2-a-days. This guy does 2-a-days basically every day. From what you're telling me, you wake up
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning, you do weights.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That it takes so much discipline to do that, and
Yeah.
that you have to be in such a mindset. And it's great that you're early on. You know, you've got a good grasp on that. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, my dad planted that in my head since
Oh,
I
yeah?
was 5 years old, so it's kind of just like second nature now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little about your foundation and your mom and dad. They're both actors.
Yeah. I mean, my mom, she doesn't act anymore.
Right.
But and my dad, he still acts.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And where did that discipline come from your dad? Because it has to start off somewhere. I come from very old school parents, and my dad was like, I mean, he worked physical labor ever since he was 11, and so that discipline aspect he implanted on me because of he had to work. So where did that come from for your dad?
Well, my dad, he didn't grow up with his father, so he kind of had to teach himself how to be disciplined.
Survival.
Yeah, and so since, he had me and I had my dad, he's been there, since the beginning. He, planted all the same things that he taught himself into me, so I didn't have to learn myself.
That's so lucky, man.
Yeah, I'm truly blessed.
Yeah,
to have
truly
him.
blessed.
And my mom too.
And your mom.
Yeah.
She's actually outside right now listening to this, and that's great. Now, you being a young actor, there's lots of young actors trying to get their career started, and older actors as well, and middle-aged, and everybody in between.
A lot of people are trying to be actors right now.
In Los Angeles. I know, it's so weird. Why would they come here and act? It's I don't get it. There is a business side to it that a lot of times is not taught in schools.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things you have learned about the business side of acting that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Business side is just, being able to talk well. So I like to read aloud a lot. So, your diction and, you know how to speak well. And it's about personality, too. You don't want to come into the room and be all grumpy and angry. You want to have a good personality, but not too much,
There's a balance.
Yeah. And then also with, auditions, too. If you have, a serious audition where you have to cry, but then you don't want to walk in the room already sad and depressed because they're going to think something's wrong with you, It's kind of challenging in a way to be able to, talk to them and, they're going to ask you questions like, oh, so where are you from? And stuff like that. So, yeah.
Luca, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I made a mistake with that one. I walked into a room where I was the scene had me crying starting off, so I decided to walk into the room crying. And, everything. And it wasn't great. They thought I was, really crying. And it was an experiment. It didn't work out so great, but hey, we learn, right?
Right.
And we get better. Being a young artist has some advantages and disadvantages. Some people think you're, either not professional enough or you're not mature enough. Have you encountered any obstacles being a young artist, professionally or, on the side?
Not really. Like I said before, the martial arts has helped me so much that, people tend to see that professionalism inside of me, whether it's in the audition or if it's just a meeting, a lunch meeting with agents.
Absolutely.
So that's really helped a lot for me personally. And I've been acting since I was 9. So I kind of learned, all the obstacles in an early stage. Mm-hmm. So now, everything's kind of, easy to me.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome. Yeah. I was gonna say, what's been your experience since you've done something since Shameless, it's been such a big you've been on a lot of episodes of that. I'm a big fan of the show, big fan. Cool. Have you noticed any change since you've done the show?
Career-wise, not so much, but I've been getting noticed a lot lately, by my school, because I hang out at Starbucks a lot by my school, and a lot of people be like, oh, aren't you that kid on Shameless? And when I go to the gym, too, people have been noticing me. And then, my social media has been up, followers and stuff like that. So it's been cool.
Have you ever had any, negative repercussions from that?
No.
Maybe crazy people?
Nah, there's been a few crazy people. But as far as, negative comments, no.
That's
not
great.
at all. Yeah.
That's good.
Because you'll kick their butt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
just
not
kidding.
afraid to.
That's it's ridiculous. You just started hitting people because they no. How do you stay on track? You said you're disciplined, and that's great, and it's been ingrained in you basically. Obviously, you're a young artist. Do your parents help you stay on track? Do you just propel that yourself? Because a lot of people find it hard to be disciplined. Mm-hmm. So how would you tell people to be better disciplined?
Just try it one full day. Just studying your craft. Well, it doesn't have to be acting. It can be anything. But if we're talking about acting, do scene study. Even reading out loud is practicing. So just try it one day and then take a break the next day. Do it every other day. And then till it's just becoming a habit almost. And then, my dad, I study with my dad too. at home, and I work on scenes with him, and we break down scenes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I have that luxury. at
Yeah.
home.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
I'm
a good
assu-
support system.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to give your dad a shout out. What's his name?
Ray Oriel.
Ray Oriel. Oh, same last name.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Who would have thought? I wanted to go back to
Please.
your it's not a quote that you gave at the beginning of the
Oh.
you made it sound like you were just like, oh, we're just gonna go into the episode, and it was like a very detailed rant.
Oh,
not
yeah,
rant,
because
but-
I wrote all that. I wasn't quoting anybody.
Oh, well, I am. Hats off to you. That was a good speech.
I know.
That
It's
was.
pretty amazing, guys.
I have to say, I don't know if I fully agree with all of it,
Please go ahead.
but
We've disagreed before.
yeah.
And we've had fights. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No.
I will.
No. Well, tell me.
He
what
is my
part?
champion. He will fight on my behalf, making him fight you.
Okay.
I'm not fighting you.
I would love to spar with Luca. I would learn a
Get
thing
into
or
a
two.
fisticuffs on air. I don't know if I believe that you should set your goals to always to a realistic standard. I really feel like if you really want something, anything's obtainable. If you really, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna fly. Yeah, no, not really. But
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, if you say you're gonna fly, how are you gonna fly?
I'm not. I just said that wasn't an example.
No, but are you gonna want to get your pilot's license and learn to fly that way? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm saying like in a realistic way.
Okay.
Anything is possible. I'm a true believer, but there are realistic ways of getting to that, and you have to have that clearly in your mind
Yeah.
to get there. Is that what?
No,
your
that makes
problem?
sense, yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah. I thought you were saying on a level of be a dreamer, reach for your dreams, but make them realistic. Don't go for the clouds, just go for the high.
No.
mountain point.
I hope nobody took that the wrong way, because there's a lot of people out there, especially in this industry, I believe, who are like, I want to win an Oscar. Okay, that's in the realm
Strategic.
of possibility. I'm not saying it's unrealistic. That's a huge goal. Great. What steps are you going to take to get to that goal? Do you have an agent? Do you have a manager? First off, let's start there. No? Okay, you have to probably get one of those to start auditioning, or you can create your own work, your own short film, and start developing it, and hopefully win some film festivals. And you know what I mean? There's steps to
No, I get
stuff.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I must have misconstrued that.
No. I wasn't clear, and no, it's good that you bring this stuff up
I'm
because.
just stupid. Stupid.
Are you
Well,
crying?
no, fine. No, but that actually goes very fitting from what you were saying of you're very you have a set goal of what you want to do for the industry. You are very regimented from what you were saying too. Is that's something very rare at such a young age.
Yeah.
A lot of people out here are going out for. I'm sure. Have you had experiences where you've worked with people in workshops and stuff that are just seriously, you need to get your shit together kind of thing?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I forgot.
You're a forgetful Betty
I am
today. Is that even a term? Forgetful Betty?
Usually it's forgetful and it starts with an F. Frankie, Freddie.
Frankie, forgetful Frankie, probably.
What?
You're very chill. I like this because a lot of young artists, they have a jittery energy to them sometimes. But you're super chill, and I love that, and it adds to your maturity and your calmness.
Oh, thank you.
It's so great though that you have such a strong support system with your mom and dad, because that is such a boost that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
For
Or
somebody,
the fact that they have the experience that they can, pass on to you before you even. I know my parents were just wait, you're going to LA, and half my family was just be careful for yeah, we don't want you to become addicted to crack or something. I'm no, that's quite not what I'm going out there for. So,
well, I want people who are listening to this, Luca, to remember that. Great, you're this young artist. You're athletic. You're working out, and you're on this hit TV show right now, and you've got a great role. But there are tough times for you. There are struggles, and you make it sound like, yeah, I'm disciplined. You make it sound so easy, but people have to realize, listening to this, that it's not easy. I truly don't
Definitely
believe
not
it's
easy.
not easy to state your regimen, no matter how long. It just becomes more manageable.
I mean, what I get frustrated with is people are like, oh, acting's so easy. All you do is memorize lines. which is not the case at all.
No.
It's
Yeah.
so much more deeper. You know, you have to develop a character, and yeah, memorizing lines, you have to do that too, but it's more, you know, being the character and making it as real as possible. And people don't tend to understand that, and it gets frustrating.
Is there any techniques you're working on right now, or have you studied any specific things?
Well, right now I'm studying with Margie Haber. and-
Oh, I've done her audition technique class, right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great for cold reads. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's amazing. And, you know, her thing is living the life.
Yes.
And to me, that's like the best technique I've learned so far
Mhm.
in my whole career, because you just really be that person
Hmm.
instead of acting like that person.
Absolutely. A lot of that has to do with just the basic thing like listening.
Yeah, listening and reacting is just,
Have you done Meisner?
I have. I mean, I've done a lot of, my dad's taught me, you know, those.
Right.
He kind of mixes that all in.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the simplest thing of what actors, because there's all like starting off actors are always so in their heads
Hmm.
that they forget to just listen.
Yeah.
Because if somebody comes up to you and goes, "Hey, what's up, man?" It's going to be different the way you react if they came up to you and said, "Hey, what's up, man?" You know, it's a totally different reaction you're going to
Yeah.
have. And so a lot of times when they're in their head too much, they give the
Yeah.
same thing, and it's like,
Well, that's what Margie teaches. Like, she gives you all that information, like the background of a character and stuff like that, and then she teaches you to throw it out.
mhm.
You know, it's still there in the back of your mind, but let it all go and just be in the scene, live the life.
Because like in your daily life, you're not walking around always go, "I'm an incredible martial artist and a good
Yeah.
actor," Like, and I've got a good family background. Like nobody does that walking
Yeah.
around. Most people don't. Jordan,
I do that all the time. No, I was gonna say, with a show like Shameless, like it's so well known for being that show that what you expect from, like, it seems like a lot of the characters on that show, like, is just because of their, like, where they're from and what they're going through, like everything you normally think as a person that, like, that's the right decision, like all those characters do like the polar opposite. like when you went into that show, I mean, when you played Derek and you went on to the show, and like every scene you guys have are with you and the actor who plays Debbie. Like, you guys have such a unique storyline. Like the fact that like there's a lot like when she beats the crap out of those girls. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens that I'm like, how do you get into that role? It's such a unique role that, like, were you like shocked at some of the stuff that was going on in the script?
Like when I'd first read the script when they emailed it to me, I was, but then I realized it was Shameless.
Yeah.
And you never know what to expect, and there's always something crazy going on in Shameless. So I was surprised, but not surprised at the same time.
How do you get into a role like that? Like, is that something that it must have been fun? I'd imagine.
Yeah. It was probably one of the best experiences, just the whole process, you know, shooting. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of similar to the character in the sense, like, we're both, you know, into martial arts, so MMA, and then, you know, we're both pretty calm and chill guys. But, you know, like, I didn't grow up in a rough area like he did, you know, in the south side of Chicago. I've grown up in the suburbs my whole life.
which by the way, south side of Chicago right now is like super dangerous.
Yeah.
There's like a murder or two every single day.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I just
No.
little fun fact for you guys listening.
Yeah, I'm really into, like, the hip hop scene there, so
Oh, cool.
I know.
What are some of your favorite artists? music-wise?
Kanye West was just from Chicago. Vic Mensa from Chicago. Travis Scott from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So yeah, it's mainly like everyone from like Kanye's group.
Okay.
And like his protégés.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody named Cage?
No.
Cage. Check him
Just,
out.
are you just trying to find out if people know him?
No, it's one of my favorite hip hop artists.
Okay.
And he's very like poetic in his lyrics and stuff. I like him a lot. I think
Cool.
you should check him out.
Yeah,
Shout out to
definitely.
Cage and Kanye West and his crew, I guess.
Listening to Actors Anonymous podcast.
Yeah, Kanye listens all the time to our show. I don't know if you knew that. Well,
I know
we-
he's a fan of Shameless though.
You do?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard that
Oh,
before.
that's awesome.
We have a few minutes left, a couple minutes. We'd love to play a game with you if you've got a little bit of time to stick
Yeah.
around.
Sure.
Let's
Jordan?
play a
Jordan is the
game.
game master.
I am the
Game
game master.
Wait, game master?
We've gone through this before, we Sam.
That's the only.
Game
That's
master.
the only reason I play the game with
Yeah.
you. Just so I
I'm-
can make that stupid joke every single time.
That stupid joke. Sorry. Anyway, today's game we are playing is. Oh God, this has been too long of a career with you.
Career, huh? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Usually careers involve a paycheck, we say.
Whoa! Whoa! Let's
Anyway, today's
there's the
game
door.
is called Explain a Film Plot Badly. I'm going to name a film plot that someone came up with on Twitter, and you guys will collectively try to get this.
All right.
So
I'm very bad at this, by the way.
Yeah. Well, last time we played with Naomi, you were terrible at it.
She was better.
Yeah. No, she was good.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I said, I was terrible.
Don't worry, they're fairly easy. Nicole, you're also in on this. Come on. Is your mic on? You good? You should turn it on.
She just gave a thumbs up.
Yeah, right.
All right, first one.
All right, first one. Ungrateful bratty prince causes dad's death, then becomes king after finding himself.
Say that again one more time.
Okay, I should say it's at Joe Bowman 91.
Okay.
I should say sends ungrateful bratty prince causes dad's death, then becomes king after finding himself.
Oh, I think I might know this one.
I know it. I just don't know the name.
Can I say it?
Shrek.
No,
Lion King.
Prince. Yes.
Oh!
Lion King.
No, that was pretty
Score
good.
one,
That
we
was good.
Sam.
In your
That was a
face,
good
Luca.
one.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna
Luca's like, whatever.
I'm gonna switch this one up because it's gonna give it away.
Yeah.
At KS_Kyle_Sampson. I don't know how
Kyle
people
Sampson.
read those.
Great guy.
A tree employs the quote, "Brevity is the soul of wit," by only ever saying 3 words, then saves the universe.
I am Groot. Or what is the
Yes,
movie?
that's right.
What is the
but-
movie?
I am what?
Groot.
Don't give it away.
Oh,
Don't let him get it.
what is that movie?
A tree.
Something of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Guardians
Guardians
of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
It says I am Groot, but I don't want to say
That's
it.
great, man. We're 2 for 2 right now.
All right. I could do an older one or like a really easy one.
We got time for one more.
I'll save the other one. Racially, this is at the ple3. Change your username, dude. That's awful. that
We
is
didn't even,
terrible.
at the what?
At the PLE3.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know
ple3.
what that is. I don't know what that is.
Radically diverse group of. I messed that up. Radically diverse group journeys to a volcano to destroy jewelry.
To a volcano.
Indiana Jones.
No.
Oh, I know.
Turn your mic off.
I know. No, I know what it is.
Just kidding.
Can I?
Yeah.
You know, Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
I've
Good
never
job.
seen Lord of the Rings.
You've
What?
never seen Lord of the
Really?
Rings?
I have it at home. Like I have all of them. I just
You need a day.
Yeah.
To go through all of them.
Well, a day's kind of a short amount of time.
9 hours to watch all of them.
That last movie does not stop. I think you could watch that last movie and then shut off the last half hour. It's not really necessary.
Luca,
Never read the book.
thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
thank you.
If you can
thank
give one piece of advice before you go for
Mhm.
the struggling artist, what would you give?
I would say make sure this is what you really want to do and for the right reasons. A lot of people want to become actors to be famous or be wealthy, and those are just the wrong reasons. Make sure it's because it does something for you creatively. And
That's
pretty
great.
much it.
Awesome,
Yeah.
Well said. Luca, thank you again. If people want to find you on the Twitter or Instagram, what are your handles?
At Instagram, at Luca Oriel, and then on Twitter, Luca_Oriel.
Perfect. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This episode of Actors Anonymous is brought to you by thedailyactor.com. Daily Actor is a website dedicated to help promote, educate, and entertain actors on the industry and careers, keeping you up to date on the latest in film and television, acting tips and techniques, as well as reviews for the latest projects being released. DailyActor.com is a vital resource to your industry news, so log on today at www.dailyactor.com. Not getting enough Actors Anonymous? Well, we got 7 days of 7 videos highlighting our past guests coming to you May 3rd. So don't forget to log on to YouTube and check us out at Actors Anonymous Pod. Listen and subscribe. Hello and welcome back to Actors Anonymous. I hope that whole last part was on there. I really do.
Damn it! I'm so mad at you. I thought we were gonna have like the sound intro in again. I completely forgot about that.
It threw you off, huh?
It's only been 50 episodes, so or something. I don't know.
Our second guest today is Isiah Adams. Isaiah, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You might know Isaiah from CSI Cyber, Endgame, The Fosters, Instant Mom, Major Crimes, and numerous short films that are just wonderful. I've seen some of them and also seen trailers for some of them. They look incredible. Isaiah, we know each other from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
We went to the same high school, Union High School, correct?
Small
that's
world.
correct. Yeah,
We had the same drama teacher,
Troy Powell.
Troy Powell. He still teaches there.
That's awesome. He's a great teacher.
He was an amazing teacher.
Oh, yeah.
He still is. They're doing great stuff there. Now, our theme for the show was, your expectations of things, and when they manifest, sometimes, it's different. Whenever you started booking your very first co-star, your very first guest spot, was it what you expected?
Oh yeah, no. My very first one. I don't know. I thought.
I know it's a curveball.
Yeah, no. Going back, thinking back, you just find yourself thinking, did I really think that? That's really what I thought was gonna happen. And it's kind of
Okay.
embarrassing.
No, tell me, what did you think was going to happen?
I mean, just my first one that I booked was the Major Crimes role, and I remember got the call back, was really feeling it. In the room, it went great, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so gonna book this.
Mhm.
Finally, first TV gig, I'm gonna be on TV show, and then I was like, I'll be great on set. They're gonna love me. They'll call me back. They'll write me in.
Right.
So I was like, I can make this reoccurring easily. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, this could easily be a reoccurring character. It'll fit.
So you've already established they're gonna keep you for the show.
Regular.
And I'm like, this is
Series
it. I
regular.
made it. I was like, I
bought
got
a
this.
house.
Yeah, and it's so great. It's so great too because literally the part on Major Crimes is it's the smallest co-star role you could have because
I'm sorry. I know you from we have a history and
Yeah.
stuff, so this is why I'm giggling.
no, it's great. No, it's great. It's so the character was he's this delinquent. I seem to get those parts. He has an ankle brace. He's
Sorry. That's the weirdest intro. People are gonna think you're a criminal. I seem to get these parts. Ankle bracelet.
So he is filming a YouTube video of how he has figured out how to hack to take off the ankle bracelet
yeah.
without it going off. So he's filming a YouTube video of how to do this. In the story of Major Crimes, this character that they're looking for who died, they're tracing him, and they go back to his house and they look up his recent YouTube videos, and that video is up there. And so I watched the actual episode, and literally it's just one shot of the main guy going, it's this video, pointing at the video, and I'm on this little YouTube screen on the desktop, acting my heart out, gonna be a reoccurring character. God.
Sorry. It's great.
It's so bad.
It's so truthful. Because I know you write sometimes pages of backstory for characters.
This guy was gonna, yep.
So what did you do when you saw it? How did that, or when did you realize where
thank
you're
God.
oh, shit, they're not gonna call me back.
Yeah.
I should return those cars I bought.
Yeah, I gotta mortgage. No, thank God I didn't really tell anyone. I don't know, because I could have easily been everybody, guys, we gotta have a viewing party. This is gonna be great, But for some reason, I was just wasn't. I was I don't know. I want to see it first, and then maybe people will tell me oh hey, I saw you in Major Crimes. So I was I won't really tell anyone about it.
Right.
And thank God I didn't, because no one knew. No one would know. But
When they filmed it, did they just shoot at one angle, since it's a YouTube video, or did they shoot numerous angles?
They just shot one angle, but they did it a different way. They did different ideas of it, and they were flirting with the idea of actually having the video come up full screen, so
Okay.
you're seeing it as. But they didn't do that. But I forgot what you asked. I was gonna answer it so well, and then
No, like that moment of realization where you're like, oh, this is not what I expected it to be. So what did you do afterwards? Like,
oh, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw it on television, and I was just quiet. And very contemplative after that, and I was like, what does this mean?
right.
And yeah, it meant not like I gotta get back out.
Right, right.
Gotta start audition. This isn't well, looks like the road's a little bit longer than I thought.
Right. Now, whenever you started booking your other roles,
Yeah.
did you kind of like, okay, calm down?
Yeah,
Isaiah, this is not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a sense that was great with Major Crimes is that it was such a big like kind of shock in a sense that it kind of sobered me up for the rest of like for the rest of the auditions, like my
Good.
mindset and stuff, being like, oh yeah, like it's just not. This is just got to keep the ball rolling, keep it going, not really expect much of anything. You know, it's just another job. Like, it's great, opportunities,
Right.
networking, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just another.
You kept grounded after that,
Yeah.
which is great.
Oh yeah.
Now, what I love about you, and I know this about you, and I want to share it with our listeners, you do such amazing work for every, like, from what you tell me anyway. You could be lying. No, I'm kidding. Just to be on the Actors Anonymous, because everybody's trying to get on the show. No, but like you do so much backstory and so much work for the character, and I love that because the general public will never see the amount of work you put into a role. Why do you put in so much work for each one?
I mean, I think it just comes down to the love of the game, just the love of it. I mean, it's that's what I love about acting is the characters and the creating of that. So it's like, any character is like an opportunity, and regardless of how big it is or how many people see it or if it's on a tiny YouTube screen, it's like, oh, I get excited. I'm like, oh, I want to like all this time and like I have so much time and energy. Like I have,
Right.
I can go like and yeah. I think too I have an obsessive personality, so that mixed with like the love of it, I just kind of like yeah.
No, you
That's like-
your love of the craft and everything.
Yeah.
Now, with that
it's-
obsessive.
it kind of it seems like what else would I do? Like what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It just seems like a natural
Yeah.
way for you to outlet or for you to work on the character.
Yeah.
Now, you said you have an obsessive personality. Are there other outlets you have? Because I know you have a blog for poetry, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why poetry? I mean, you
I don't
like
know.
reading, and you just find an outlet for it.
Yeah, I love reading, and it all. I mean, a lot of it was timing. It happened to be when I was up at NYU, just really dark time in my life, and really being like on my own and
Right.
exposed to the world, and like so different from Oklahoma, and like just so many creative juices like flowing everywhere. This is just like all this art and creativity there in New York, and I happened to. It's just such a like weird story, but I went into this pretty like well-known bookstore, just randomly picked a book called Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. It's letters to a younger poet that like wrote to him because he was in it like
Great description.
up and coming. The title's deceiving too. But the book it changed my life. Well, it's weird because like I picked the book and I didn't read it until the story gets better and better and better. I randomly I know. Okay, so I randomly picked this book, and then when I ended up dropping out of NYU a year later on the plane ride to LA,
Oh,
I just had my backpack, and that book was in there, and I'm like, kind of antsy and nervous, and like, what am I doing? Like, why am I taking a one-way ticket to LA? So I'm like trying to find stuff to read, and I'm like, I don't know who he is, Rainer Maria Rilke, all the stuff. I just started reading it. And I'm like, oh god, it's a poetry book. Like, I don't know. I don't know anything about poetry. And so I just start reading it. But it's not a poetry book. It's actually letters, obviously. And it's don't want to like overplay it, but it literally like changed my life. It was weird. Like started like crying. I can imagine the people next to me like I had this poetry book and I'm like weeping to myself, but it was so powerful, and it was just and then the rest is history. I mean, he's my favorite poet, and
Can I ask you something about your early life?
Yeah.
And feel free to delve into whatever you feel comfortable with.
Sure.
But I know you said you came from a dark time.
Yeah.
In your NYU period.
Yeah.
And you came out here, and I know you've had struggles, getting started out here as well. And I'd like to, if you feel comfortable sharing with some of those things, because we have listeners out there who have gone through similar things and who are going through worse things. And a lot of times when people go through these extremely dark periods in their life, they feel alone.
Yeah.
They feel they can't get out of, and a lot of times it starts spiraling them down into like a darker path.
Yeah.
And I want to share with them, because I want them to realize that somebody else has gone through this.
Yeah.
They can get through it.
Yeah.
And it's okay that they're going through it. It's actually a good thing.
Oh yeah.
It's this is going to sound crazy, but if you listen to our next episode, it's called the birthing process, the rebirthing process of a human individual. I know. Don't Jordan, don't.
It's like the woman coming in, she'll be in labor, and she's gonna give birth live on the air.
No, but please
Yeah,
share with us some of your dark times, and you don't have to share all of them, but something in particular that really changed who you are as a person, and it is a key moment in propelling you into the person you are today.
I mean, I think. So much of man, yeah. When I first went to NYU, that was when I was able to like really be alone, and I think it was something that I had always like longed for. Almost, I kind of like it was like just a shattering down of a whole bunch of things, realizing that perhaps I'm not like I haven't been truthful to myself. Like in high school, that wasn't really me. Like I felt like I kind of just did what other people kind of wanted me to do, like played the part essentially. But like now that I'm here alone in my solitude, my little dorm room, like I have no responsibility, no like friends. And I remember going to NYU going, I'm not going there to make friends. Like I'm going there to learn my craft. And so like I was kind of that guy that didn't talk to anyone, and they would like try to hang out on the weekends, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And so like it was that solitude that was great, which is why I think I love Rilke so much, because Rilke all his poetry is filled with like his love for solitude, yet he's so afraid of it too, but he knows he needs it. Anyways, it was in that solitude that just contemplating, like really thinking about life, and it was a bit depressing. The question of like, who am I? Like who have I been? Who am I right now? Who am I really? Yeah, like, well, like all this.
Those questions are, excuse me, sorry. Those questions are thrown about nowadays, I think, with such little weight. Who am I?
Yeah.
Where have I been? What am I becoming? I mean, if you really
Those are
are by
big
yourself,
questions.
those hold huge
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah, terrifyingly so. Yeah, and then being young too, and naive, and having such these like giant thoughts, kind of didn't mix well. I think that's when it's good to have like community friends, or like at least someone else in your life. But yeah, just being alone with those thoughts, like it could get really heavy, and then it just kind of starts weighing you down.
Yes.
And then
How do you bounce back from that?
I mean, in retrospect, I can see now, but during the time, you don't. It's weird. It's like a drug. You like it because it's like it's such a hyper. Like the feelings are so raw and real, even though they're terrible feelings, like really bad feelings. But they're, I don't know. It's like a drug. Yeah, it's like a drug. It's like you like it.
You like
You're
feeling sad?
Yeah, like you feel.
It's like its own addiction. In a
Yeah,
way.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
you feel pity or something, or sad, or like melancholy, and you can kind of just like wallow in that. And but that's a bad habit of mine. Yeah, but
Great writing material though.
Yeah, that was
it
a
helps
scary
you.
thing too. It was such a creative like and that's when I started writing because I was like, what do I do with this like stuff? I was like, I'm gonna throw up, like so I just started like writing and then like it's all like really dark stuff. When I go back and look at it, I'm like, oh gosh, just like, but and I thought that was so good. I was like, yes, I can use this darkness, but it's like poisonous and. In retrospect, I can say like coming out of it, definitely you gotta have like friends in your life, and that was something like we kind of talked about. You were saying like you're a lone wolf, and I am too. But I think like even lone wolves, like you gotta have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to not think like that. Like I'm sure you realize that, but I used to think like like I really don't need anyone. Like I'm totally fine. I always have this fantasy of like living in Ireland.
Right.
On like it's raining. On like a bluff and like a little cabin just alone cobbling or
Right.
something.
No, I mean there is a self-reflection that goes on and a self-worth that accompanies I can live on my own. I don't
Yeah.
need anybody. Because when you're in that solitude all the time or most of your time, you're in those negative feelings, but you have to find some type of self-worth, and so maybe that's where like no, I can live on my own, this is fine, I don't need anybody kind of thing, perhaps. I'm just assuming.
I think
I'm just trying to connect the bridges here.
absolutely.
But I mean, you don't seem that depressed nowadays. But there's things that changed for you
Yeah.
from that state of mind to this state of mind, and so you dropped out of NYU for what were they financial reasons? Were they reasons you weren't feeling it at NYU, or?
Yeah, I wasn't. I just wasn't feeling it. I think, and of course, it's always a timing and a mixture of things. But it was just like my expectation. I had weird expectations. Like going to NYU, I was thinking it's gonna be like this elite. Everyone is like on their A game, getting there like. Some movie comes to mind, but I can't think of it. But everyone's just like super. This is like it.
X-Men.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I think.
No, yeah. So your expectations of it were totally different from what.
Yeah, and then I
and
get there,
upset
and it's just like a high school game, kind of, but like a little bit more free, but kind of directed. And so, the other people there, like they were just, like some of them were like, oh, my parents wanted me to come here, and I was like, what? Like, and I just got like the vibe that people didn't like necessarily like want to be there as much as I did, but not even I wanted to be there for that reason. So it was just weird. It was like I felt like, oh, maybe this wasn't what I thought it was.
Right.
Shoot. What do I do now? Like this isn't actually what I really want.
It's an extremely terrifying moment, especially for a young person coming out of high school, going to college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is a developing mind at a crucial state. And so your expectations, again, it goes back to what I was talking about in the very beginning. They have to be realistic. I'm not saying don't shoot for the stars, but they have to be real.
Yeah. Now you have to know, but you have to have a direction. The direction is the dream. The reality is the steps to take to get there.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
You're a poet.
As a poet.
I'm depressed, so I'm writing really well.
Oh no.
Now, you came out here, and you had that cathartic experience on the plane, and then you went through some really shitty times out here. You told me about some of those times. If you want to share with any one of those moments, that's fine. But I want to know more about how you overcame. I just hit myself in the ear. How you overcame those moments. What choices did you make? Because we're similar, but we're also different in certain aspects.
Yeah.
Because I think our background, the way we grew up, is different, but we
Yeah.
have similarities and differences. Because the way you come out of problems is different from the way I come out of problems sometimes. So please share how you came out of one of your hardest times here in Los Angeles. Something with your car somewhat recently, right?
Always car problems.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm cursed. I think every year since I've been out here, I've had a new car. It's been totaled something. Something
Yeah.
like that. So it's just like horrible luck. Yeah, one time I was at a stoplight the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
the very first year coming. So I was in LA for probably like 6 months now, and a truck just didn't. I guess the guy was texting just didn't stop, and I'm just sitting at a red light, hit me, totaled my
Right.
car.
Were you physically
Somehow
hurt?
I was completely fine.
Wow.
I was unconscious and I came back to. Glass was everywhere. People were like in the streets. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
I for some reason wanted to get. Was it my iPod? I kept asking people. I was like, "Where's my iPod? I need my iPod." And they're like, "You need to go to the hospital." Like we called an ambulance. I was like, "I need my iPod." I guess like I had hit my head.
Yeah.
So it was like blood, and people were like really scared. But I just wanted my iPod.
Right.
And then yeah, that was just such a big, so much stuff like with insurance, hospital bills, all these things. There's just like
It's a
too
nightmare.
much. Yeah, it's like oh my god. But I think at that point, and then for me too, it's like this. I never really had anything growing up, and it's always kind of just been acting, and so this is like it, and so. To come out of it, I guess it was just always the focus on like this is it, like this is why I'm here, almost like on this earth at that point, like you know. And so it's like what else is like what it doesn't matter if there's a car wreck, hospital bills, like this is what I'm gonna do, like somehow. I'll come back to it.
This is a very interesting point. This is a very interesting way you dealt with it. You didn't have when you say you didn't have anything, you're talking about material possessions, really.
Yeah.
Or outlets
Yeah.
per se. You were always in acting in high school, and it's something you studied, and you had other outlets, but that was like the main thing.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna draw upon Fight Club here. It's like after we lose everything, we're free to do anything, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of was it similar to that?
Yeah.
Whenever you started, well, I don't have my car anymore. I'm in this shithole.
Yeah. It was definitely freeing.
Nobody can take acting away from me. I still have me.
Exactly.
So that's and Steve Gaynor said that a few episodes ago. He talked about how he lost. Steve Gaynor is a wonderful DP. He was on the show. He talked about how he lost every single material possession he had when he was like 21 or 22 years old. It got stolen off a bus.
Oh my god.
So he had nothing. But it still didn't take away from who he was. And
Yeah.
that, I think, is such an amazing thing. And so for anybody listening out there, I think right now, who is going through a shitty time, if they have a roof over their head or even
Yeah.
a day job that's shitty but still paying some of the bills, you've got more of a head start than other people. And just remember, those things can't take away from who you are.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful thing, and it's that rebirthing thing, like born out of, fire or blood or water, like V for Vendetta. Whenever she walks out into the rain and it's like pouring water on her, and she gets her. That's her rebirth. It's through the rainstorm, or like the Vendetta guy. It's through the flames. Basically, he's walking out of the flames, completely reborn, and it's this rebirth that I think is necessary, and people don't want to go through hard times or say, why am I in this hard time, and they don't realize it's a blessing in disguise. Our next episode, we go into it even further.
Good.
You have to really embrace the bad no matter what the situation is.
Absolutely.
Like I remember, like even in my worst times, you'd be like, oh my god, I have this bill, oh my god, I have to do this, and then all of a sudden you have a flat tire and you're like, that's really going to add to my fucking day? Like that's seriously what's going to be the thing that pisses, and then you just have to go, deep breath, it's a fucking tire, it's not a big deal, and then you just have to embrace everything in order to, and then I think we also live in a society right now that people don't think enough about those questions that you asked yourself. Like I don't think that people are aware of of what they are or what they want to be or why they're here. And I think that's a big reason why, like, I know a lot of people in my life that have gone through really tragic times and they don't know where to go with it, and the world's not working the way they want it to. And I think that you have to, there's something to be said for how we live our lives. And it's very difficult in this industry to do something with, such, 100%, like, you're dedicated to your craft when you're trying to survive. That I feel like you have to also realize that in your 20s, maybe for Hollywood it's like your 30s too, but like, you need to figure out that path, and sometimes you have to take, sometimes in order to become, am I going off topic here?
No, no,
Oh, okay,
I'm on board with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like sometimes when you want something, you have to do things that you may not want to do to get there. Like there's a really good book. It's called The Defining Decade that I read, and it's really interesting because it goes into like how everyone has these like social anxieties because you look on Facebook and you see everyone has the perfect life, and everyone's doing amazing things, and why does my life suck? And I won't tell people my life sucks. I'll put online that I'm doing awesome and this is happening, and then you get lost in that feeling, and you like suspend yourself for a while. But if you take back those layers and you just kind of look at yourself and say like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be that bohemian person at 25 selling coffee because it's comfortable and I can have weekends off and do all this stuff. Maybe you should focus on like, if I really want to be an actor and if I'm not focusing on something, you go in and you do, you go to extra work because it's going to give you experience on set, and you get to know what that's like, and you get to be on a show, and you get to network with people, and then you go to all these auditions, and you keep focusing on what you really want to do to get you to that level. Like there's no excuse.
I think it's finding what works for the individual. You know, especially because it's not a one size fits all.
Oh no,
at all.
but I think
I
think it's not about what works for the individual, but having the individual know who they are in order to pursue what they want.
Absolutely, and that in that turn, when you find out who you are, you can figure out what works for you. That's because, again, there is no handbook. Everybody's life is different, and everybody's needs are different. Everybody's experiences are different. So, you put it so well put, Jordan. Kudos.
Thank you.
You're on fire this segment. Last segment you weren't great. But this one,
I know.
Spot on.
I got something. No, but
Can we? What's that book again? You just
The
mentioned.
Defining Decade.
Let's put it on our Think page.
Yeah, absolutely.
People can definitely check that out.
But
We only.
I will say,
Yeah.
sorry, one thing I will say
please.
that you said everyone's different, but the one thing that so many people have consistently said on our show is that if you want to be an actor, you have to want it bad enough that you don't want anything else.
Absolutely.
And you just want to be comfortable being that role.
Well, an actor's life. Okay, if you want to be an actor in Los Angeles, you have to accept that there is a business to it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that business is not fair. It doesn't owe you anything, no matter what you've done for it.
Yep.
It's not your mother.
And if you still want to be an actor, great. Don't ever complain about the business ever again. Find ways around it. Be strong, and realize that you're doing it for the love of acting. And maybe you'll.
And there's a lot of shitty people out there.
Yeah. But again, you'll find yourself along the way. I mean, it's pretty. What's the feeling you get when you look at a mountain and you're trying to climb it?
Ambition?
No, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels overwhelming, but there are some special things that can come from it.
Acting is a mountain. That.
Death awaits on the mountain. We're all
Death
gonna
Mountain.
die. We're running out of time, Isiah. But if there's one piece of advice you can give to the struggling artist out there, what would you say right now?
Keep struggling. Trust the struggle.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thanks for coming on the show, Isiah. If people want to find you on the interweb, where can they find you on? Twitter?
Twitter, Isiah for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then IsiahAdams.com.
Great. And you have a blog that you update there periodically with your current works and everything, right?
Yeah. That should be on there. If not, yeah, it's on there.
Okay.
Excellent.
Gears are turning.
I love you, Isiah. Thanks to our listeners for listening to the show. If you have any questions or comments, please go to our Twitter or Instagram or even our website. Email us. Jordan, thanks for co-hosting as always.
As always.
Nikki, thanks for running the board today.
You're welcome.
It's like NPR now.
Right?
Yes.
You'd be great
Sounds
for NPR.
great.
And thank you to GVB Radio. And always remember to listen, think, and then talk.